20th anniversary of Lost is today. How does it feel to look back at the show and the legacy of it this far removed from it now?
It's so weird that it's been 20 years. When I think about it, it's a little unsettling. It was pretty fast. It went by pretty fast, I guess. And I mean, I feel lucky because, you know, I was like, that also basically means that I've been in this business over 20 years. So I was like, holy crap, you know?
Yeah.
That means, you know, I got really lucky. That's really what it means. So it's like, yeah.
I'm happy for you. Now, there's a scene in Lost where Hurley wants to rewrite Star Wars because it hasn't come out yet. If you could go back in time and rewrite a scene from Lost and do one thing differently, what would you change?
Maybe not kill Libby, so we could, you know, see where that relationship might have gone.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, a guy like me gets so few opportunities to get to have like a kiss on a cliff top. Why not, you know, have a little romance bit to do? That'd be fun.
And now, did you get to reunite with anybody while you were working on Getting Lost? What was it like to kind of spend so much time thinking about it, talking about it all these years later for the documentary that's trying to recapture the spirit of the show?
It is fun, just the way that things would trigger other memories and stuff, and then suddenly it's like you remember like a little anecdote and stuff, and it's like they got a lot of footage of a lot of people talking, a lot of interview stuff, so it's like what is going to be compressed into, like, I remember, like, I'm friends with Ralph, who was one of the producers on it, and like every now and then they'd be like, all right, I just watched another edit, and I'm like, how long is it? It's 4 hours. It's too long. You need it, and they got it down to 2, which is amazing. And it's just like, you know, maybe it'll be something kind of thing where like they can do it, and then there'll be, I don't know, bonus features or like deleted scenes and stuff. It seems like they have a lot of material now. So
you mentioned bonus features. When Lost ended, the final season came with that bonus scene of you, Michael, and Malcolm reuniting. Thinking about maybe where this could go. How was that introduced to you? Did you guys ever explore beyond that, the idea of what could come next for these characters?
No, we didn't. There was, you know, one time I was on an episode of Talking Dead, that Walking Dead after show, and we were just chatting, and I was chatting with the showrunner, and then you were just kind of like talking about like whether if there was ever a time that Lost would be rebooted or revisited like that. And I don't remember any details, but he was like, all right, so like, let's say, what could we do? And then he just kind of like riffed on a few ideas. And I was like, oh, that's why this guy does TV like that. And I just play my piano and sing my little songs.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to go back to the island. When people talk to you about Lost, what is the thing they most want to talk to you about Hurley's journey?
It's not, I don't get into too many specifics about Hurley as far as when they ask me. There's more general things, I think, and about, well, it depends. Like there's diehards that just kind of like give me appreciation just want to show appreciation for the show and all that kind of business. And then there's the cursory viewers, the ones that still complain about the ending. You know, every now and then they'll point that out, or they'll say, you know, they'll ask if we were dead the whole time, or they'll do those kind of things. So sometimes that happens. But what can you do?
People might be coming up to you, you might not even know, they might just be like, dude, and then you don't even know they're quoting.
One of my favorite audience moments of being spotted, I was in Spain, and someone just, he saw me approaching, he just started doing a little bit of like the score. He just saw me going like, dun, 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 dun. And I was like, well, it's great. It was really kind of like a sweet way to identify himself as a fan, and just not, but also it was so super specific and super like minute.
Yeah. Does the cast keep in touch today?
A little, but it's like the more and more, the more of our just lives had been happening and stuff like when we first moved out there, we were the only people we knew essentially on the island. So it was like we'd go to the Fox's house every weekend, and that was especially that first summer, that was our life.
Yeah.
And then and then just you start establishing your own life essentially. But when we see each other, it's definitely a kind of thing that's like, there's certain people that you when you see them again, you jump the time real easily. There's not a lot of trying to rebuild and catch something up. It's just like because you spend so much time with them. You hung out in the rain for so long.
Nobody else had this experience but you guys. Yeah.
I'm Malcolm David Kelley. I'm here for the Lost 20th year anniversary. In a dope documentary. I had a little part in it. I'm glad to be here.
Had a little part in the documentary and a little part in Lost. Who'd you play in Lost?
Yeah, I played Walt in Lost. That's what I played in Lost. Yeah.
Okay, so now today being 20 years since Lost premiered, do you remember where you were when that first episode aired and everything changed?
So I remember where I was when the episode aired, the first episode. I think we were in Hawaii. Were we in Hawaii? I know we shot the pilot. Like, it was at the time where you shoot a pilot, and you'd have to figure out if it was going to get picked up off the pilot. So I think we all did go home. I got to watch it with the family, but and got the call that was going to be picked up. Yeah, then from there on, we were watching it all as a family together, the whole cast. Yeah.
So then, talking about working with Harold Perrineau so much and getting to do that Michael and Walt relationship, what was it like to have the moments with him on set?
Oh man, working with Harold Perrineau and that father-son dynamic was great, man. It was almost a real thing. I was out there kind of, my parents were here at home in California while I was in Hawaii. I had a guardian there with me, so he was definitely a father figure for me out there as well. So it worked. I love Harold to this day. So yeah, shout out Harold.
When you were so young, did it kind of set in the scope of what Lost was becoming when you were working on it?
Did it set in while shooting Lost? It didn't. While being so young, I was kind of in the moment, bro, running around on the island, and shooting this great show. But as I got out, as the show was airing and you walk around, that's when it would hit you, bro. Just the whole fandom, and I can look up and 20 years later, bro, we still get to enjoy it, and it's on Netflix again. Like, it's dope, bro. I really appreciate it.
How many people come up to you now just on the street and they're like, Walt?
No, I get it, bro. Like I said, I just did an interview today talking about it, and I used to do shows. People will come to my music shows with Walt signs. Like, it's so much love, bro. So I really appreciate it. I know I'm a little grown now, so it might take them a little second, but people still get it. Like, I get it all the time. It's love.
I was gonna say, I remember the kid who played Anakin. He would get the Star Wars lightsaber sounds. You got people yelling Walt, probably.
I got people yelling Walt, bro. I got people yelling Walt. Where's the dog? I get that all the time.
Vincent.
Come on, Vincent.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I remember when Walt left the show, you guys left in a boat, and there was a lot of talk about, Malcolm's growing up too quickly. They had to write him out because the kid was growing up.
Yeah, I was short, from my age, so I was playing a lot of younger roles. So yeah, it was growth spurt kicked in a little bit. It wasn't too much, but kicked in, had to get braces. So yeah, it was a lot going on. And they were, doing some things with the show. It was just a lot of the cast, and seeing the success of the show. People were like, we gotta do something. Let's raise everything. Numbers and everything. But it was just a lot going on. So a lot going on.
And then when you came back, it felt like they found ways to try to shoot you, put you in certain clothes that would make it look like you were still just that little boy again. Talk to me about some of the secrets and tips and tricks they tried to use for movie magic to make you look like Walt hadn't grown up yet when you came back to Lost.
Again, being in the moment, but I would say just raising the camera up, high angles, but coming back, being drenched in water, and them like just running words back, you know what I'm saying? That's just shout out to the whole writing team, editing staff, just coming up with crazy stuff, bro. It was a team effort for sure.
All right, I'm going to end it with this because when Lost went off the air, season 6 came with that special bonus feature scene. It's you, Hurley, Ben, you all reunite, maybe you're going back to the island. Do you ever wonder where that went?
I did, man. We should have, I wish we would have capitalized on it, but no, yeah, I'm glad they did that. The writers, they were always just like, love to keeping things open. I think that was the thing with the finale too, where so many questions we wanted, so many answers we wanted, but that was the beauty of it. It kept us talking, kept us wanting more, so that was dope, man. Shout out to them.
If they called you, would you go back?
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
I'll be there.
I'm Maggie Grace, and I am here for my 20-year reunion. I'll be honest. Like, I know it's a screening, but for me, it's a 20-year reunion, which is pretty trippy.
Let's go back 20 years. You're dropped on an island in Hawaii to film Lost. What was the first day on set where you realized, like, oh, we're really doing this thing?
I think, we shot the crash with the fuselage I think it was first up, so no acting required. I mean, it was, physical effects and a whole plane crash in front of you. It was pretty terrifying.
So then from then on, what was it like to get scripts for Lost? Would you kind of flip to the page and make sure you survived? Were you looking for answers? What was the priority with each new page?
I'll be honest, you definitely looked and checked if your name was anywhere towards the third act, and then you could kind of read it without the palpitating heart.
So when the time came and we said goodbye to Shannon, how did they deliver that news to you? Do you remember?
Oh, it was very gentlemanly. There was a conference call, and then a bunch of my close friends on the cast were at my front door, immediately after with a bottle of wine and a big group hug, and it was pretty lovely.
And it's never really the end on Lost, because sometimes there's flashbacks, sometimes you come back. You had your reappearances in the show. What would it be like?
Yeah.
What was it like to kind of come back to the show after your recurring, main role had been killed off, and then you'd still get to go back to Hawaii and reunite with everybody for every once in a while?
Yeah, that was a very particular pleasure. Yeah. It was very sweet.
I know it's been 20 years, and we've seen you've done some incredible work. In what ways has Lost changed your life?
I mean, I was such a baby that I think it was this really special formative experience for me personally. I think, it's like you only have one first time. Like, that to me just opened up the world in this new way. And I think, I've had close casts since for sure, but I think when you're that young, you just give something your whole heart,
So what was it? I'm assuming you were interviewed for the Getting Lost documentary, right? What was it like to be interviewed for Getting Lost, and what kind of questions were they asking you? What was it like to revisit that in this setting?
A couple of the questions you just asked,
really?
If I'm honest. Is that terrible? No, it was nice. I kind of wish we could all be in the same room and like popcorn style answer questions, because I think you kind of build off of other people's memories and go, oh, I remember that night. Like, that was crazy,
All right, well, thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations on 20 incredible years since the Lost premiere.
It's trippy. There's something about this that feels very trippy.
Do you remember where you watched the episode for the first time?
It was we watched the pilot at my house with the whole cast. Like, I cooked for everybody, and it kind of started this really neat tradition where we watched it together each week, and it just brought us closer together and felt like something, it was really a team effort. I did a Broadway play once where a really wonderful cast member who's way more experienced than everyone else led us in this circle before every performance where we all held hands and spoke into the circle, and it sounds very hippy-dippy. But on Lost, that's kind of what those nights felt like, this, team huddle kind of, go team.
Nobody else was having that experience. It was only you guys.
It was before social media, and we were on an island, and not Honolulu either. Like, we were in our own little world. It was really...
Do you guys keep in touch today?
Not as much as I had hoped. Yeah, everyone's kind of spread out and far-flung, and, we've all got kiddos, and, I don't think I've slept in 4 years, so... I'm just happy one of my good girlfriends is here tonight that, I don't get to catch up with normally. It's, this is a nice sort of signpost to make everyone take a moment and take a breath and appreciate, how lucky we were to be a part of such a special moment in culture and in each other's lives, and also kind of the journey since then. So it's nice. It's a nice reminder.
Well, I'll let you get back to your friends and have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for talking tonight, Maggie. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Daniel Roebuck. I'm an actor. That's what Tommy Lee Jones used to say. I'm an actor by trade. So I'm here tonight in beautiful Beverly Hills, celebrating essentially the 20th anniversary of Lost. And I'm so excited to be here amongst my fellow castmates, looking at this show that, no one believed would last one season, let alone would kind of change television as we know it.
Yeah. Okay, so you have one of the most iconic scenes in Lost, in which you go boom. Revisiting that sequence, what was it like to shoot it, and did you expect the audience reaction that we got?
Well, Dr. Arzt, let's say he went out with a bang.
Sure did.
And, when they asked me to do the show, Carlton said, you'll be in 3 episodes and then you'll die. But he didn't tell me how. And so when I finally got to that in the script, I was like, wait, what? Because you couldn't, I'm not saying you couldn't, nobody's done it before. Nobody, how the heck do you put that on a television show?
Right.
So they do it because they're the great Carlton Cuse and his crew knew that it was going to change things and make things great. So to prepare for it, I'll tell you, it wasn't as easy as it looks. Because in the first place, as an actor, you got to act like you're not going to explode. So it seems odd, but you have to say the words as if you're going to continue to say them, even though you're not. And there was a little explosive in the dynamite I was holding, so that the special effects guys would be able to know when the explosion started. So I'm holding this dynamite. It's wired down my leg. Everybody's cell phones are off because if your cell phone rings, it could set off the explosion. And as I'm standing there and a cloud pulls over and everybody, they go, we gotta, how they do, they go, we gotta wait for the cloud, we gotta wait for the cloud. So we're all standing there, and I'm not kidding, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I'm holding an explosive, 4 minutes. Finally, I picked up my phone and I said, hello, Mom?
Oh, no.
Nothing exciting, what are you doing? No, we didn't explode because my phone wasn't on. But there was 80 people, 100 people watching. Anyway, the show was spectacular. I was lucky to be on the show. I made great friends from that show. Jorge Garcia we've worked together. Sean Whalen, Frogert, who took the arrow, the flaming arrow. We've kept in touch. Like, I made friends for life, and that's the great thing about the show.
So 20 years later, how often do people still come up to you and want to talk about Dr. Arzt?
Oh, it's been 20 years since the show, and I would say every third person wants to talk about Arzt. Every second person wants to talk about Matlock, and and then there's 1% who I can tell when they're walking up what they like. I see them coming, and I know what they like. I know this is a Disney Channel girl. I know this is, the Matlock people, you can tell because they've got walkers. That's a joke. It's a joke. Don't write me letters.
CBS audiences, we hear you. No, that's funny. Well, I don't know if you can tell which one I'm here for, but I might be a giveaway too. Thank you so much for talking, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to just say thanks to all the fans for keeping this alive, and the filmmakers of Getting Lost have done a fantastic job telling the story that no one ever told before. So you're going to love this movie, this DVD, wherever it streams. Find it, watch it, enjoy it.